So, the weather wasn't quite what I wanted it to be this weekend. It was rainy and dreary pretty much the whole time, and I couldn't get out there on my pull-up bar to shoot the video I was planning. So, I retreated to my basement looking for some inspiration. And when I was down there, I realized I've been loving up on dragon flags like crazy lately. So, I figured, why not? I'll make a video all about dragon flags and exactly how I learned to do them. Dragon flags not only build insane core strength and look impressive, but you can do them anywhere you have an anchor. An example would be like a mailbox, because it's cemented in the ground, a fence post, even a door frame in your home. But what I'm going to use in this video is this foundation pole that's in my basement. It runs from the ceiling to the floor and is basically part of the house, so it's really sturdy. Alright, first things first, before you start doing dragon flags, you want to get up to 10 lying leg raises. And notice when I do them that my butt and lower back lift off the floor at the top of the movement. This builds up the strength in the lower back that'll be necessary for doing dragon flags. Also notice that I keep my legs pretty much straight while I do these, and I'm basically just hinging at the hips as I do the leg raises. And eventually you'll want to move on to the advanced leg raises I'm doing here, which adds a little more work for the lower back. Basically, at the top of the movement, push the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. This little extra movement in the leg raise is really going to help strengthen the lower back, like the erector spinae and the quadratus lumborum, and it'll help prepare you for dragon flags. Alright, the first progression for dragon flags that I recommend is something I call diagonal extensions. So lay on the floor in front of your anchor, grab the anchor behind you and overhead, then do an advanced lying leg raise to get your feet up so you feel like you're vertical. Now what you're going to do is extend at the hips, just slight hip extension until you feel like your body's straight. Your torso and legs should be in a straight line, and then go back into flexion and then back to extension. Back to flexion, back to extension. And when you extend, try to do it just till you feel like you're looking straight down your body, like your torso and legs are a straight line. It doesn't have to be perfect, you're just practicing, but eventually you're going to get to the point where you can go nice and straight, and your body will be diagonal. That's why I call this diagonal extensions. It's hip extensions, and your body's diagonal. Now, this is going to strengthen your lower back, and eventually you're going to do it enough that you find that you can hold that diagonal position. Once you can hold the diagonal position for a few seconds, it's time to move on to diagonal holds. Now, you're going to start this off the same way you did the last one, holding onto the anchor with arms overhead and behind you. Do an advanced lying leg raise, straighten out as much as you can, engage that whole core, and then lower down into hip extension with your body feeling straight. Torso and legs should feel and look like a straight line. Doesn't have to be perfect. The goal here is that you're strengthening your lower back and entire core. Now, when you start to tire out, go ahead and tuck one leg. That's going to reduce the resistance that you have to hold up. Alright, and then go ahead and alternate legs too as you do this. See how long you can lengthen out this hold. Now when you start to tire out, you're getting shaky, you can't quite hold it anymore, what you're going to want to do is tuck both legs towards your chest and then just roll down to the floor. Alright, eventually you'll have those diagonal holds down pat, and then it's time for negatives. So hold on to your anchor, do an advanced lying leg raise to get up, extend at the hips to get into a diagonal hold, and then you want to tuck one leg and do a negative all the way down to the floor. And this is going to build strength so that you can hold a perfectly rigid diagonal body at a lower angle to the floor. So as you're lowering down and closing that angle, like right around here, that's where you're building the most strength. So continue working on those, tucking one leg. Make sure you alternate which leg you're tucking between reps. And I'd say build up to 5 or 6 good negatives with legs tucked, and then you're going to move on to negatives with both legs extended. Now you will notice that these are much harder than when you're tucking one leg, but As long as you've built up, I think like 5 or 6 reps per set with the tucked leg, then you should be able to do at least one negative with both legs extended. And try to do these as slow and controlled as possible so that you build up strength. One thing I'd like to point out is that notice when I do these with both legs extended, watch my heels as I come down. My heels and my butt touch the floor. My lower back doesn't, okay? My lower back does not hit the floor first. And that's important when you're doing dragon flags. You want to keep that lower back off the floor. And as you do these negatives, don't hesitate to stop on the way down if you feel like you can. Tuck one leg and see if you can hold a smaller angle to the floor. This will really build strength in that last part of the dragon flag when your heels and your butt are approaching the ground. Alright, so you're almost there. You're at half dragon flags for the 4th progression. And what you're going to do is come up, get into a diagonal hold, and once you feel like you're there, lower down to about 45 degrees or so from the floor, and then raise up. Now notice that I'm using some momentum. I'm just sort of pulling up however I can. And that's how it's going to be in the beginning. When you're learning this concentric phase of the dragon flag, you're going to need to rely on some momentum. Don't worry though, it will smooth out, and before you know it, you'll be ready for the real deal, for dragon flags. So basically, this is going to be just like the half dragon flag, except you're going to lower all the way down, heels to the floor, and then come back up. And a little word of advice, basically when you're doing the half flags, just work on making those bigger and bigger, until eventually you find you're going all the way down to the floor. So just a little more advice, any other core exercises you happen to be working on will also translate and help with the dragon flag. That could be L-sits you might be working on, or handstand progressions. Whatever it is, always try to engage the entire core, especially the lower back, and all of that strength will translate to the dragon flags later on. So yeah, after shooting all this footage and doing what felt like 100 dragon flags, my daughter and I went to the kitchen and we blended up our favorite post-workout smoothie. This is the peanut butter chocolate smoothie, and I gave the recipe in my smoothie video. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. It's absolutely delicious and it's healthy. And lo and behold, the sun started to come out just as I finished lunch. How about that? So I decided to take a walk down to our garden in the backyard just to see how the veggies are doing. And on that note, I wanted to mention that it's been a while since I made a video that's related to nutrition, so I'm thinking that might be the topic of the next video that I make, but we'll see. And if you're new to Minus the Gym, this channel is all about healthy eating and working out at home, like calisthenics-based fitness. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, you should subscribe. Make sure you tap the bell icon so you get notified when I upload, because I think you'll definitely enjoy my videos. Alright then, good luck with the dragon flag, and I will talk to you soon.